Death in sleep is often considered the calmest way to go, but for the family left behind, this leaves a big question mark, especially if it happens to a healthy-looking figure in his old age. As we age, our bodies no longer have the same threshold for tolerance to bad habits. Over the age of 70, the body's circadian rhythm weakens, and vital organs such as the heart and lungs work with more limited energy reserves. What was once considered trivial by the age of 40 can be a fatal trigger at the age of 75. Here is an in-depth narrative of 5 dangerous bedtime habits that should be avoided in order to maintain heart health and quality of life in the golden age. Don't do these 5 habits before bed after 70. 1. Eating heavy or high-salt meals late at night. Many elderly people have trouble sleeping, so they tend to look for comfort food at night. However, the digestive system in the 70s works much slower. Large meals before bed force the heart to work extra hard to pump blood to the digestive system when the heart should be resting, dipping phase. What's more, high-salt foods cause fluid retention. When lying down, this fluid moves to the chest area, which can aggravate the work of the heart and trigger shortness of breath in the middle of the night, orthopnea. 2. Letting room temperature too cold without protection. The body's ability to regulate internal temperature, thermoregulation, decreases dramatically with aging. Temperatures that are too cold at night can trigger sudden constriction of blood vessels, vasoconstriction, to maintain body heat. For men aged 75 years with the possibility of plaque in the arteries, blood pressure that spikes suddenly due to cold can trigger a heart attack or stroke while they are asleep. 3. Ignoring symptoms of sleep apnea or loud snoring. Often, families consider the sound of snoring grandfather or father as a normal thing. In fact, after the age of 70 years, obstructive sleep apnea, OSA, becomes very dangerous. This condition causes a momentary respiratory arrest that reduces oxygen levels in the blood drastically. This decrease in oxygen makes the heart beat irregularly, arrhythmia. Many cases of dying in sleep are caused by the heart stopping due to chronic lack of oxygen that is not handled. 4. Consumption of sleeping pills without strict supervision. Insomnia is indeed the main enemy of the elderly, but switching to sedative-type sleeping pills without a doctor's prescription is a great risk. At the age of 75, the metabolism of the liver and kidneys has slowed down, so the drug lasts longer in the body system. The most dangerous side effect is the suppression of the respiratory system. In conditions of sleep that are too deep due to the drug, the body may forget to wake up when there is light obstruction of breath, which leads to silent death. 5. Go straight to sleep after an argument or emotional stress. Mental health is highly correlated with cardiovascular health in old age. Stress hormones, such as cortisol and adrenaline, soaring due to negative emotions before bed will keep blood pressure high throughout the night. At a vulnerable age, this condition of unrested heart, due to the burden of thoughts, increases the risk of rupture of blood vessels or sudden heart attack in the early hours of the morning. Important message: age 70 years and over is a time when the body needs a ritual of soothing sleep. Death in sleep does seem peaceful, but preventing avoidable risk factors is a form of our love for ourselves and family. Part 2. The death of a 75-year-old man who was found lifeless in his bed is often referred to as a beautiful death because it appears painless. However, from medical glasses, the transition between deep sleep to cardiac arrest is often triggered by the accumulation of habits that undermine the already fragile homeostasis system of the body. After passing 70 years, the human body no longer has the ability of automatic repair as fast as when it was young. Every activity we do 2 hours before closing our eyes will determine whether our heart and brain are able to survive until dawn. Here is an in-depth review of 5 bedtime habits that should be stopped immediately after the age of 70 to avoid the risk of sudden death at night. Don't do these 5 habits before bed after 70. 1. Eating heavy, fatty, or high-sodium foods. Many elderly people feel hungry at night because of irregular lunch patterns. However, a large meal late at night is a heavy burden on the heart. In the 70s, the digestive process requires energy and large blood flow. When you eat heavily and then lie down immediately, the blood that should be allocated to restore brain and heart Function is actually sucked into the digestive system. In addition, food high in salt causes the collection of fluid in the legs. When you lie horizontally, this liquid will again flow into the area of the lungs and heart. This phenomenon can provoke acute congestive heart failure, in which the sufferer seems to drown in his own liquid while asleep. 2. Using gadgets or watching tense news. It may sound trivial, but exposure to blue light from mobile phones and consumption of information that triggers anxiety, such as criminal or political news, is very dangerous for the elderly. After the age of 70, the production of the hormone melatonin, sleep hormone, decreases naturally. Exposure to blue light further inhibits this hormone, forcing the brain to remain alert, hyperarousal. A tense brain condition triggers sympathetic nerves releasing the hormone adrenaline. In men aged 75 years, the constant spike of adrenaline at night can trigger arrhythmias or heart rhythm disorders. The heart forced to run when the body tries to rest is the main prescription for a heart attack at 2 or 3 a.m. 3. Ignoring symptoms of snoring and wrong sleep position. Snoring is not a sign of deep sleep. Often it is a sign of obstructive sleep apnea, OSA. In old age, the muscles in the throat become more relaxed and easily clog the airway. When the breath is stopped for several seconds many times a night, the level of oxygen in the blood, saturation, will deteriorate sharply. This lack of oxygen sends an emergency signal to the heart to pump faster in the midst of thin oxygen conditions. If this habit is allowed, coupled with a supine sleeping position that aggravates the blockage, the heart can give up due to oxygen fatigue, hypoxia, causing death in sleep that is often unnoticed by the partner beside him. 4. Carelessly taking sleeping or sedative drugs without a prescription. Insomnia is indeed a chronic problem in the elderly, but treating it yourself with high doses of sleeping pills is a very risky action. Sedative-type drugs work by suppressing the central nervous system. At the age of over 70 years, the function of the kidneys and liver in filtering drugs is much reduced. The effects of drugs that are too strong can make a person fall asleep so deeply that the body loses its natural reflex to wake up during respiratory distress. In addition, sleeping pills often cause dizziness when waking up in the middle of the night, for example when going to the toilet, which leads to a fatal fall or injury that triggers heart complications due to shock. 5. Do heavy discussions or harbor emotions before bed. Heart health is greatly affected by psychological conditions before closing your eyes. Family quarrels, thinking about financial problems, or deep loneliness can trigger oxidative stress in the body. At the age of 75, the walls of blood vessels tend to be more rigid, atherosclerosis. Emotional stress before bed causes blood pressure to remain at high levels throughout the night, a condition called non-dipping. Supposedly, during sleep, blood pressure decreases by 10–20%. If the pressure remains high due to the burden of the mind, the risk of rupture of brain blood vessels, hemorrhagic stroke, during sleep is many times higher. Conclusion and hope. The age of 70 years and above is a time when every night is a victory. To keep that victory, it is very important to create a quiet sleep environment. Limit eating and drinking 2 hours before going to bed, and ensure good air circulation in the room. The death of the 75-year-old man in his sleep is a reminder to all of us that old bodies require extra tenderness and care. Do not let the bad habits that accumulate years rob the rest of the precious golden age. Extra Night Routine Guide. Use this checklist daily, starting at 3 hours before the planned bedtime. 3 hours before sleep body preparation phase. Finish dinner, make sure the stomach is done processing heavy meals. Choose an easily digestible menu such as soup, cooked vegetables, or light protein fish. Limit salt and saturated fat. Avoid fried or canned foods that trigger fluid retention that burdens the heart. Reduce fluid intake. Drink enough during the day, but start to limit the volume of water at night to reduce the frequency of waking up to the toilet, nocturia, that disrupts the deep sleep cycle. 2 hours before sleep, a phase of mental calm. Turn off the negative news. Avoid watching political news, crime or action movies that trigger adrenaline. Dim the lights. Start turning off overly bright lights, and use warm yellow lights to trigger natural melatonin production. Finish heavy discussion. If there is a family problem, postpone the discussion until tomorrow morning. Make sure the heart is calm, sincere. 1 hour before sleep, a phase of physical relaxation. Warm water bath or foot soak. Warm water helps blood vessels dilate, vasodilation, and lowers blood pressure naturally. We did light stretching. Do very light neck and leg stretching movements to prevent muscle cramps in the middle of the night. Avoid gadgets, put the phone away from the bed. Use a printed book or listen to soft instrument music instead. 15 minutes before closing your eyes, environmental safety. Set the right room temperature. Make sure the room temperature is not too cold, ideally between 22-25 degrees C. If using air conditioning, use a blanket thick enough to protect the chest. Adjust sleep position. For those who have a history of tightness or snoring, use an additional pillow to position the head slightly higher, about 30 degrees, to widen the airway. Make sure the path to the bathroom is safe. Turn on a small light in the hallway leading to the toilet so that if you wake up, the risk of falling can be minimized.